The vile crimes of Bill Kenneally have done so much harm. These crimes have damaged and destroyed lives, and they have consumed the lives of many others for decades. In this specific case, truth and justice was prevented by some of the most powerful organisations in the state. It's shocking that Senior Gardaí, who had been informed of these crimes in the 1980s, did not act on these crimes. The Gardaí failed these victims and survivors, that the South Eastern Health Board also fails to follow through on these complaints. Judge Michael White said in his report that Bill Kenneally was surrounded by the influential in Waterford society. His uncle Billy Kenneally Sr. and his cousin Brendan Kenneally, who were both Fianna Fáil TDs for Waterford, and his uncle Monsignor John Shine, who was influential in the church. These actions may seem like they're from a bygone time, but in truth I think that instinct is still in organisations to defend themselves. Organisations still often put their own interests ahead of the interests of survivors. And I will say today, in relation to children being at risk today, there are dozens of children in the charge of Tusla who are missing as we speak. Many of them are exposed to shocking levels of abuse, and my worry is that some of those children will be in a visitors' gallery in 20 and 30 years' time. 𝐁𝐩𝐴𝐺𝐵.
I too welcome this belated apology after the final report of the investigation, and I'd also like to pay tribute to the survivors whose immense personal bravery and persistence finally forced the truth out. It does sound like a platitude because as a society and as successive governments, we've treated people with contempt because people were all the time dealing with their own trauma and suffering, and complaints were made in the mid to late 80s. And yet the Guards, some other agencies, the political elites and others chose to protect this well-connected predator over innocent children. And the evidence was sat on for so long until another formal complaint was made in 2012. This is the modern era. We thought we were over this. We thought we had dealt with historic abuses in residential institutions and we're getting on with stuff. But even now, and it is shocking that it took so long before and after, it was a conscious, systematic cover-up. But even now we have to ask, have we learned everything we need to have learned? As the Minister mentioned a while back, we do have robust laws like the Children First Act now, but the system is still only as good as the culture and the resourcing. And as Deputy Tóibín just mentioned before me, Tusla itself is an agency that lurches from crisis to crisis, leaving vulnerable children in unregulated, unsafe emergency hotels, B&Bs, etc. I know there are recent news reports that there's movement that which I welcome, but there's thousands more on waiting lists without a proper social worker, and there's a lot of kids who've come to this country through the asylum process who've gone missing. We also need to urgently reform the 2004 Commissions of Investigation Act to end what I believe is the forced silencing of survivors under Section 11, which criminally gags them from speaking out about their own testimony.
Thank you for watching. Please like and share.